340 Nigerians who no longer feel safe in South Africa are back in Nigeria.
Indeed, their plane touched down in Lagos at 7:40 tonight, making it the second batch of Nigerians who have returned from the Rainbow Country. We have more in this report.
After the long wait, more than 300 returnees from South Africa have arrived. Journalists were not allowed into the arrival point for security reasons. They were subsequently brought to the narco section for verification. Chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Adekunle Adeleye, glowingly spoke of government's plans for the returnees.
On the part of the government, you receive them with money to help them survive for a few days. Bank of Industry will give them the number. They also call, they get soft loans, and the state governors, are expected to now work on complete rehabilitation and reintegration. There will be medicals here. We have a team of doctors who have volunteered. We have counselors here. We have also trainers who says they want to do a needs assessment.
CEO of Air Peace, Ale Onyema, says this gesture has brought respect to Nigeria.
Nigeria is now being respected all over the world because of this singular act. That all over the world, people are talking about this evacuation. So for once, Nigeria rose up to the act to be respected. The thing is this, it's not about Air Peace and us, it's all about nationhood.
We spoke with some evacuees on their ordeal in South Africa.
It's nothing to write home about. It's so bad and awful. Actually, they don't like foreigners, more especially the Nigerians. No matter how hard you tried, they will never like you.
Yeah, I think the government, both governments of South Africa and Nigeria, they should come together to see how they can, foster their diplomatic ties. Because Nigeria, there right now, they are really in a tight corner.
187 Nigerians were previously evacuated from South Africa as a result of the xenophobic attacks. This now makes the total number of persons evacuated so far to 501, but more still willing to come.
Public Affairs Analyst Adekunle Adeleye joins us now via Skype for more on this development. Well, 501 in total Nigerians in South Africa who are safely back at home. You heard the chairman of AP say that this has brought respect to Nigeria. Help us understand what the significance of this is and the impact it's likely going to have on xenophobic attacks in South Africa.
Thanks for having me once again. I think it's very important. And like I said, during my first interview on this issue, I said it was a tiny little step towards the right direction. It will bring an awful lot of, a lot of respect for our country. But we need to do more. It was one killing too much. We shouldn't allow this to happen anywhere again, be it in South Africa, be it in the United States. The federal government needs to stand for its citizens, irrespective of what they might have done, or whatever the situation is. So they should always stand for the country, for the people of the country. Remember, I also said before that this government needs to invest in the people of the country. There's a difference between investing in the economy and investing in the people. Because I don't want to be a doctor that heals fever without detecting the main cause of the fever. What is the cause of why are people living in the country in droves in search of greener pastures? From history, we've always learned that people always go outside of our territory to look for greener pastures.
All right, let me hold you to bring in our correspondent now, Ademola Lawrence, who actually monitored the touchdown at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Ademola, it appears newsmen did not get the kind of coverage we got with the initial 187. Tell us more about what transpired there earlier tonight.
Yeah, you're actually correct. Unlike the last time, where newsmen were actually allowed to the tarmac to receive the 187 returnees, this time around it was not the same story, as newsmen, journalists were not actually allowed into the tarmac. So we had to actually struggle to get to the point where the returnees are actually being conveyed into the bus, down to the NACO and AG Commission where they're actually being debriefed. Now, if you look at where I am now recently, I'm actually at NACO, where the returnees are actually being debriefed and profiled.
It's all right. I'll just get back very quickly to Adekunle now. So we've seen some efforts from the federal government, giving them some funds. We understand that the Bank of Industry is also going to reach them subsequently for soft loans. But the idea of having state governments to reintegrate them into the society, do you believe, how optimistic are you that they're going to get further support from their state governments?
I guess Miss Abike Dabiri listened to my last interview. I am not in total support of involving the government in everything we do in Nigeria. See, these are people who migrated out of the country out of their own free will. They were not being stressed or being haunted back home in Nigeria. They just went for greener pastures. They left families and friends back in Nigeria. When they left, let them go back home to their family. The government is already doing a lot. I mean, small little bit, which is the right thing to do, to give them soft loan, for banks to give them soft loans and cancel them. But to now say the government has to be in charge of reintegrating them back into society, I think it's totally wrong. This is where we need psychologists. We need to have a country where psychologists are not working in banks, or when they work in banks, they have to be in charge of occupational therapy. We don't need psychologists who are going to be working in the oil industry, but when they do, they have to be working in occupational therapy.
Public Affairs Analyst Adekunle Adeleye, thank you for talking to us on the news tonight.